Hi there folks, Rourke at ABP here. Today we're going to be going over radio networks and repeaters, some basic types of radio networks and how they function, as well as how you'll be able to use them for your business and figure out what your business needs are. Okay. Now radio repeater, that's what a lot of the focus of today's video is about, is a combination between a transmitting radio and a receiving radio. Now in a basic sense, repeaters are what make up a network. Imagine them as being similar to cell towers in a cell phone network. They combine together to create a large, wide area over which you will have radio coverage and will be able to talk to anybody else who's also on the network. Radios have different transmit and receive frequencies, as I said. Okay, so imagine that this is you right here. You got your radio. And this over here is one of our Diga-Talk repeaters okay, so your radio is transmitting out on frequency A. Frequency A hits the repeater, and then frequency B will be translated out to all the other users on your network. Okay, and now what this does is allows things to work over a much larger scale, obviously. For example, I mean, you might be able to go from user to user like here. These two guys could probably talk to each other without the repeater, but let's imagine that there's a small range of mountains here, hills, or whatever, forest, and that's blocking the signal from this guy to this guy. So the repeater acts to help widen the range that you can talk in. And as you see, so you're transmitting on frequency A. The repeater is receiving on frequency A and transmitting on frequency B, and the end user radios are receiving on frequency B. Because of this, frequency A is called the input frequency, and frequency B is called the output frequency. Also, okay, so without a repeater, without this digital network that you're going to work with, two guys together in the same building, they might be able to talk to each other, but, they're not going to be able to talk here back and forth. Now, what you're doing without a repeater is basically called a simplex system. So let's imagine there's another user here. He's talking to this guy, and this guy no longer on the Diga-Talk network will only be able to talk back and forth. They will both be using frequency A to transmit and to receive. Okay, now a duplex system like the Diga-Talk network gives you the long-range communications options that companies need. Duplex systems are called this because of the use of two or dual channels to transmit on. A radio network is what is known as a half-duplex system, and that means that some of the equipment is running full duplex, or on two channels, and some of the equipment is only able to run on one channel at a time. So the repeater is running A and B simultaneously. It's receiving the audio as well as transmitting it at the same time. The radios at the end user radios, are only able to transmit or receive at a time. What this means is that if someone's talking in your network, or on your specific channel for your group, everybody else has to listen. They can't talk over each other. They can't, start yelling or get in fights and have a situation where somebody maybe doesn't hear some important information that they need to because somebody else was talking.